What's up, my wizards? It's Dev, Mtg. We like magic, and we got more of that hot Ixalan spoiler action for you today. Like 7 cards, as a matter of fact, and there's a couple in here that I think are really cool, and I want to spend a second talking about, so let's jump right into it. Alright, so first we're going to take a look at Deathless Ancient, also possibly Immortal Ancient. It is 6 mana for a 4/4 Flying Knight Vampire, and you can tap 3 untapped vampires you control to return it from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so in Draft specifically, not sure about Sealed because I don't know how easy it's going to be to get 3 whole vampires. It's a lot. But in Draft, when you're drafting up the vampires deck, this is probably a key piece. You want to see this, right? I mean, 4/4 flyer that's recursable. Seems like that would win a lot of games in Limited. But, you know, look out for that, at least. But in Standard, no, not at all. There's like 100 better ways to mess with your graveyard than just a really huge cost on a 4/4 flyer. It's not... It's like 2 steps behind Standard playability. But again, in Draft, yeah, huge, awesome. Now, this next card is a blue enchantment that I don't yet, at least at the time of this recording, have an English name for, but I'm going to try and not butcher the German name, but I'm pretty sure I'm still going to butcher it. It's Gewasser. It's 3 mana, 2, and a blue for an enchantment. Every time you cast a Merfolk spell, create a 1/1 Merfolk creature token with Hexproof. Okay, so Hexproof is good. That's a good thing. I'm pretty sure that's a very good thing, but at the same time, 3 mana enchantment, that's probably just going to get you 2 or 3 tokens worth of value that game, probably. Just on average, you know. It may get you more, it might get you more, but it's still, you're going to have to get at least 3 tokens probably to make up for 3 mana worth of value here. So I'm just not 100% sure that this is quite worth it, even in a Merfolk deck. Especially on turn 3, I probably want to focus on playing a Merfolk, you know, like advancing the board, because this won't do anything the turn that you play it most of the time, and I don't like do-nothing enchantments on turn 3 in an aggro deck, so I'm just not really sure that I'm feeling it, and this could be like the next Bitter Blossom, I'm just missing it or something, but all in all, man, I think that you have to work a little hard and skip a turn, more or less, to get real value out of this, and I'm just not sure that I want to do that. Let's take a look at Dire Fleet Captain. This is 2 mana, a black and a red, so rack those colors, for a 2/2 Orc Pirate. Whenever Dire Fleet Captain attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other attacking pirate. Okay, so solid 2-drop right here, and you know, I keep thinking to myself that like the Pirates deck should probably just be blue-black, especially if it's budget, but then yesterday we saw the dumb Grixis Pirate Lord that gives all your pirates an anthem and like lets you steal stuff, and then today we see this awesome 2-drop, so looks like the list is pretty solidly Grixis at this point, and it is a very attractive 2-drop. You know, it looks like it could attack for like 4 or 5 fairly easily by turn 4 or 5, you know, and if we see something that like creates a bunch of pirate tokens or something, then it would go really, really well with this, obviously. So hopefully we see that, but even if we don't, still a solid 2-drop that's going to attack for 4 probably very consistently. Here's another pirate, actually right here. Here's Deadeye Plunderers. It's 5 mana, 3, a blue, and a black. For a human pirate, it's a 3/3, and Deadeye Plunderer gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Convenient thing about that is that you can pay 2, a blue and a black, that's 4 mana if you're counting, and create a treasure token. Well, this looks pretty good, right? In the like Revel in Riches / mechanized production treasure deck that a lot of people already want to see. So this looks okay. You know, it can get really big off of all those treasures, and it can itself create treasures to help you win the game off of either of your alternate win conditions. So maybe in that, although 5 mana is so much. Like 5 mana is a lot. I like that it gets +1/+1. This could have just been +1/+0, and that would have probably been okay. But the fact that it can get to like 7/7 pretty easy makes the 5 mana a little bit more worth it. But at the end of the day, I'm just not 100% sure, especially considering, again, standard 5-drop that does nothing to turn it comes into play is probably not ideal. So there's that. But again, in budget decks, it's another one of those cards. In budget decks, this is going to shine, and especially in that like Revel in Riches mechanized production thing. You know, Revel in Production, mechanized Riches. I like that. I do like that, actually. So it's going to go well in that deck. But aside from that, I'm not sure, even in like the Pirates deck, how much play this is going to end up seeing. Here is Magic Spoilers got it labeled as Green-White Dinosaur. Let me know. Take your best shot at the translation here. This is Green-White Dinosaur. It's 7 mana. That's 5, a green and a white for a 4/6 dinosaur. That makes sense. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So it's another one of these. We haven't seen this effect too often in Magic, but we have seen it on like Assault Formation and more famously Doran the Siege Tower. And a lot of people are calling this like a Doran Soar. I think it's a cute name. And I like that it's uncommon. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think we've seen this ability on an uncommon before. So that's really cool for budget decks, and especially for sealed. I've already said this, but the sealed environment looks great. Just a bunch of 7-mana dinosaurs they're trying to get to. That looks really, really cool, and I like the cut of this thing's jib. A lot of dinosaurs have either the same or sometimes lower toughness in their power, so I don't know how good it's going to go with some of the dinos in the set, but as far as trying to build like a fun budget deck, like the Assault Formation is kind of back. It's 7 mana now. It's 5 mana more than it used to cost. It's like Doran, but 4 mana more than Doran. So I'm not saying it's like as good as either one of those. And if you're not as good as Assault Formation, you're probably not a great card. But it still looks really fun, and we're going to try and build around it, see what we can do. Here's Invite the Party right here. What a great name for a card. It's 4 mana, that's 2, a white and a black for a sorcery. Hate that about it. You create 3 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink.
Happy feet, wombo combo. That ain't Falco. That ain't Falco. Where you at? Oh my God. Wombo combo.
Here's the last card of the day so far, though. This is Old Growth Dryads. It's just a green mana for a Dryad, and when it enters the battlefield, each opponent may search his or her library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle his or her library. So this is sort of like the inverse of Rogue Elephant, kind of, sort of. Not as good as Rogue Elephant, probably, but still. I do actually kind of like this card. I know it sounds crazy, but like 1 mana for a 3/3, is that worth ramping your opponent by a land? Very likely no, but I still like the idea of a 1 mana 3/3 in standard, super stompy, playable all day. One of my favorite tweets from yesterday actually was Seth from Mtg Goldfish.
Probably better known as Saffron Olive.
Now, what he said was that curving this into Aronis' Last Stand looks like a fun way to lose some games, and I couldn't agree more. It's just, you give them an extra land on your first turn, you lose your untapped step on your third turn. It's just like, you're giving them all the advantage in the world, but you are getting huge guys. Now, if you wanted to get real technical and theoretical, you could pull off a turn 4 win with those 2 cards right now, but it's never, ever, ever going to happen. But just in case you're intrigued, it's just one of these on turn 1, turn 2, Aronis' Last Stand, swing in 3, turn 3, you don't get an untap step, but you play a land, you play another one of these 1-drops, swing for 7. You've done 10 damage at that point. Turn 4, untap, swing 10, game over, again, theoretically, but they will have removed a guy or played a creature at that point, especially with all the extra mana that you're giving them. So that's never going to happen, but that is how the math would work out. Ultimately, I think a 1 mana 3/3 is worth trying, no matter what the downside is. I really don't like ramping the opponent at all, freaking at all. But it might be worth it in a fast enough build, especially in a format that looks to get a little bit slower moving into, away from rotation. It looks like we're getting at least a step slower here. So cards like this that are incredibly fast could actually make their way in the format. I mean, you give them an extra land, but they're trying to get to a 5-drop, right? That's all the spoilers that we got for today, but I know there's going to be more spoilers, or at least I assume there's going to be more over the weekend, because PAX is coming up this weekend, and they always do spoilers for PAX. Also, important announcement, Monday, September the 4th, that's when spoiler season officially starts, and that's when you get to see my exclusive preview for Ixalan. So make sure that you're subbed to the channel if you're not yet. Hit the bell for the notifications so you can see the exclusive preview and all the other Ixalan spoilers we're due. I'm also going to do another video tomorrow. Actually, I want to get that video out already. That is the top 10 cards that improve with rotation. The cards that aren't rotating, but because there is a rotation, they get better. So make sure you're looking out for that video too. Like the video if you enjoyed this video, and you can follow us on Twitter at SBMTGDev, or kick us just a buck if you want to on Patreon at patreon.com/SBMTG. Also make sure you check out TCG Player. They're a sponsor, and they make sure that I keep being able to deliver you content. So check them out. There's a link in the description for them too. And I will see you cats later. I'm Dev from SBMTG. Thanks for watching, my wizards.